My beloved child, pause for a moment. This message is not random. It is not appearing in your life by accident. Archangel Michael is standing near you right now, sword lowered, eyes steady, watching to see if you will listen. January 23rd is not just a date on a calendar. It is a marked moment in the spirit, a turning point that was scheduled long before you ever felt confused, tired, or overlooked. Someone is being sent toward you with a gift, not something you ordered, not something you planned for, but something that will arrive at your door unexpectedly. And hear this carefully. If you laugh, ignore, or scroll past this moment, you risk missing what was designed to bless you forever. Listen closely. There are very few times when heaven moves this openly. Archangel Michael does not send warnings lightly, and he does not announce arrivals unless they carry weight. This gift is not just an object. It is a key, a signal, proof that what you prayed in silence was heard. You may have said, "God, if you are really there, show me something real." This is that answer. But it requires reverence. It requires attention. And above all, it requires that you do not dismiss what seems small at first glance. You have been through a season where things showed up late, wrong, or not at all. Doors closed without explanation. People promised and vanished. You started smiling on the outside but questioning on the inside. Archangel Michael knows this. He has watched the tears you wiped away before anyone noticed. He has seen the moments you almost gave up, not loudly, but quietly, the most dangerous kind of surrender. That is why this delivery matters. Because it is not just about what arrives, but about what it awakens inside you. On January 23rd, the energy around your home shifts. Even now, as you hear these words, something feels different. That is not imagination. That is alignment. Someone is being moved, nudged, instructed, even pressured to bring something toward you. They may not fully understand why they are doing it. They may say, "I just felt like I should." But behind that feeling is Archangel Michael, clearing the path, removing interference, and making sure nothing delays what has your name on it. But here is the warning you must not ignore. Many people miss miracles because they look too ordinary. They laugh because it doesn't match their expectations. They scroll because the timing feels inconvenient. They ignore because pride whispers, "If it were important, it would look bigger." That whisper is not from God. It is the same voice that has kept blessings circling instead of landing. Archangel Michael is firm about this. Reverence opens doors that skepticism seals shut. This gift will test your posture. Not your worth, your posture. Will you receive with gratitude, or will you analyze it until the moment passes? Will you honor it, or will you treat it casually? Some of you are thinking, "I've heard messages like this before." But your spirit knows this feels different. Heavy. Jobber. That is because it is connected to a longer story, one that started when you were overlooked, rejected, or underestimated. Heaven keeps records, and repayment is precise. There is also something else you need to know. This arrival is protection as much as it is provision. Archangel Michael does not only deliver gifts, he blocks what is not allowed to cross your threshold. Some things that were meant to distract you, drain you, or delay you are being cut off right now. You may already feel distance growing between you and certain people. Do not chase what is falling away. It is making room. The door cannot open if the hallway is still cluttered. Pay attention to signs in the next few days. Repeated numbers of sudden memories. A name you haven't heard in a long time. These are confirmations, not coincidences. Your spirit is being prepared so you do not mishandle what arrives. Because mishandling does not always look like rejection. Sometimes it looks like indifference. Archangel Michael is clear. This blessing was designed with forever in mind. It touches more than just this month. It affects your confidence, your decisions, your direction. It is the beginning of restoration, not loud restoration, but solid restoration. The kind that holds when storms return. The kind that cannot be taken back. So I ask you now, with urgency and care, do not laugh this off. Do not minimize this moment. Do not scroll as if this is just another message. You were meant to hear this before January 23rd for a reason. Preparation always comes before arrival. If your heart is beating a little faster right now, that is your confirmation. Archangel Michael is near. The path is clearing. The knock is coming. And what you do next determines whether you recognize the gift or miss what was designed to bless you forever. My precious one, lean in and listen with your spirit, not just your ears. What Archangel Michael is revealing now goes deeper than a simple arrival or a sudden knock. January 23rd is not about chance. It is about timing that has been restrained until your soul was ready to receive without fear. There are things heaven will not release until you stop doubting your worth to carry them. That is why this message feels intense. It is not pressure. It is preparation. You need to understand something clearly. The gift that is coming is connected to a season you thought was wasted. Nights when you wondered why nothing moved. Days when effort brought no reward. Moments when you asked, "What am I doing wrong?" Archangel Michael says you were not wrong, you were early. And heaven does not rush what must last. What is being sent now carries instructions, not just blessings. It will redirect your steps in a way that makes the past suddenly make sense. There is also a reason this arrival is unexpected. If you had known how it would come, you might have tried to control it. If you had known who would bring it, you might have doubted them. God often hides miracles inside simplicity so pride cannot interfere. When it arrives, it may look ordinary. It may even seem small. But do not measure spiritual things with natural eyes. Some of the greatest shifts begin quietly, like a seed pressed into soil before anyone sees green. Archangel Michael is also guarding your reaction. Heaven is watching how you respond in the first moments. Gratitude activates continuation. Mockery stops flow. Indifference delays momentum. This is why the warning was so strong. Laughing, ignoring, or scrolling past is not about this video. It is about a pattern. A pattern of brushing past divine nudges because life trained you to expect disappointment. That pattern is being broken now, but you must cooperate. Let me speak directly to your heart. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. The delay was not denial. It was alignment. Some of you needed distance from certain people before this blessing could arrive. Others needed healing from past letdowns so you wouldn't sabotage the new. Archangel Michael has been cutting cords you didn't even know were attached. That is why some relationships feel quiet lately. Silence does not mean loss. Sometimes it means protection. As you listen to this, something inside you is waking up. A calm alertness. A sense that you should pay attention. That is discernment returning. You have been numbed by waiting, but heaven is restoring sensitivity. That is dangerous for darkness and powerful for you. The enemy thrives when you are distracted. That is why this message found you now, not later. Focus is being returned to you. Now hear this clearly, because this is important. If this message is stirring you, do not keep it to yourself. Engage with it. Like this video as a sign that you receive what is being released. Share it with someone who needs confirmation that God still moves. Comment something simple like "I received" to anchor your expectation. These actions are not about numbers. They are signals. When you move, heaven responds. And if you have not yet subscribed, this is a moment to align yourself with messages that keep your spirit awake, not asleep. There's momentum building around you right now. You may notice sudden clarity about decisions you were confused about. You may feel an urge to clean, organize, or prepare your space. That is not random. You are making room. Even if you do not fully understand why, trust the nudge. Obedience often precedes explanation. Archangel Michael wants you steady, not anxious. Do not run ahead of the moment, and do not lag behind it. Stay present. Stay watchful. Stay humble. The gift is coming with precision, and when it arrives, it will connect to something you already carry. A skill, a desire, a calling you push aside because life got loud. This is not adding pressure. It is restoring direction. Some of you are worried about missing it. Release that fear. The warning was not to scare you, but to sharpen you. You are aware now. Awareness is protection. Just remain open. Remain grateful. Remain expectant without desperation. Faith is calm. Panic is not from God. Before I continue unfolding what happens after the arrival and how this blessing multiplies beyond you, let me say this with clarity and care. Stay with this message. What comes next connects the arrival to a breakthrough you have been praying for much longer than you realize. Hold on. This is where it starts to make sense. Beloved soul, there is a sacred reason your spirit feels unusually alert right now. This is the moment where heaven leans closer. Archangel Michael is not only announcing an arrival, he is revealing why this gift carries weight beyond the surface. What is coming to your door is connected to a covenant, not convenience. It is tied to a promise God whispered over you long before you learned how to doubt yourself. January 23rd is the intersection where patience meets fulfillment. Understand this clearly. The gift is not a reward for perfection. It is a response to perseverance. You kept going when answers were silent. You stayed soft when bitterness tried to harden you. You chose faith even when it felt foolish. Archangel Michael says heaven marked those moments. Nothing faithful and wasted. Nothing endured was ignored. What arrives now carries restoration encoded inside it. Some of you will recognize the meaning instantly. Others will only understand it later, after events begin to unfold. Do not panic if clarity does not come all at once. God often reveals in layers to protect your peace. The important thing is your posture when it comes. Receive without suspicion. Welcome without fear. Honor without delay. The first reaction matters more than you realize because it determines how quickly the blessing multiplies. There is also a hidden protection attached to this delivery. While it looks like a gift, it is also a shield. Archangel Michael stands guard because what you are stepping into has value, and value attracts attention. Not everything and everyone deserves access to what God is giving you next. That is why discernment is increasing in you. You may suddenly feel firm about boundaries you once struggled to keep. That firmness is not pride, it is wisdom returning. You need to hear this gently, but truthfully. Some people will not understand why this matters to you. Do not explain it to those who mock spiritual things. Sacred moments lose power when exposed to careless mouths. Treasure what is given. Mary pondered things in her heart before the world ever saw the fruit. Do the same. What God entrusts to you now grows best in gratitude and silence. Archangel Michael is also reminding you that this blessing is not meant to stop with you. It will touch your home, your decisions, and those connected to you. The atmosphere around your life is shifting from survival to stability, from barely enough to quiet confidence. You may still face challenges, but you will no longer face them empty-handed. This gift changes how you stand, how you speak, and how you believe. Pay attention after January 23rd. Watch how conversations change. Notice how opportunities begin to circle you differently. Observe how your prayers gain boldness. These are signs of alignment. You are not chasing anymore. Things will begin to meet you. That is when you must stay humble and thankful. Pride delays. Gratitude accelerates. If at any moment doubt tries to rise, remember this. Archangel Michael does not announce what heaven is unsure about. This was planned. This was protected. This was timed. And you were chosen to receive it because you can steward it. Even on days you felt weak, your heart stayed sincere. That sincerity is currency in the spirit. Now let this land deeply. This is not hype. This is not fantasy. This is an invitation to participate with God instead of watching from a distance. When you respond with faith, you signal readiness. When you honor what arrives, you unlock what follows. This is how divine sequences work. Type "I receive the promise" in the comments if this message is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 864 has just been released over your life. As this message reaches you, I feel compelled to speak directly to those who sense the weight of this calling. The light you are receiving is not meant to stop here. Scripture declares that when seed is sown into good soil, the harvest feeds many. This is that moment. I am inviting you, in obedience, to help carry this light further. When you release your support through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, with a link waiting in the description, you are not funding a channel. You are opening doors for souls who are still waiting for their confirmation. The Lord says, as you pour, I will refill you with oil that does not run dry. Act now, not later. Let your giving be a prophetic response. I speak blessing over every seed released in faith. Increase, protection, and clarity will follow. Do it now, and watch heaven respond. Chosen one, there is a deeper layer unfolding now, and it requires your full attention. What Archangel Michael is revealing at this stage is not about the moment of arrival alone, but about what awakens inside you immediately after. Many people believe blessings end when they receive them, but in truth, that is where responsibility begins. What is coming to your door is designed to shift how you see yourself, not just how you live. Heaven is not merely changing your circumstances, it is recalibrating your identity. Once the gift arrives, you may notice a subtle but undeniable change in your inner posture. You will stand a little straighter. You will hesitate less before speaking. You will feel less desperate for approval. This is because the blessing carries confirmation. Confirmation quiets insecurity. Archangel Michael says the greatest damage of past seasons was not what you lost, but how it made you question your value. This arrival corrects that distortion gently but firmly. There is something important you must understand about the timing. The delay protected you from receiving this too early. Earlier, you might have handed it to the wrong people, explained it to the wrong ears, or used it to prove something instead of stewarding it. Now, you are ready to hold it without shrinking or showing off. Maturity attracts trust in the spirit realm. That is why heaven is releasing more now than before. After January 23rd, do not be surprised if old temptations resurface briefly. not because you are failing, but because resistance always tests new authority. The enemy probes to see if you truly believe what God has just affirmed. This is where discernment matters. You do not need to fight loudly. Calm refusal is often the strongest response. Silence backed by certainty confuses opposition more than arguments ever could. Archangel Michael is also drawing your attention to your environment. The blessing may prompt you to reorganize your space, adjust your schedule, or step away from distractions you once tolerated. This is not restriction. It is refinement. You are entering a season where your time becomes valuable, not just busy. Protected. Not everything that asks for your energy deserves it. Some of you will experience emotional release after the arrival. Tears that come without explanation. A sense of relief you cannot put into words. This is stored grief leaving your body. You have carried weight longer than you realize. The gift acts like permission to finally exhale. Let it happen. Healing does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it feels like rest. There may also be a decision placed in front of you shortly after. Something that requires courage rather than urgency. Do not rush it, but do not ignore it either. Ask for wisdom, not signs. You already received the sign. The courage you feel rising is part of the blessing itself. Trust that. Archangel Michael wants you to remember this. What is given to you now will grow according to how you honor it. Honor does not mean fear. It means consistency. Small, faithful actions compound quickly in aligned seasons. You do not need to announce what God is doing. Let results speak. Let peace confirm. Let time testify. There is also a generational aspect to this moment. What you receive and steward well breaks cycles behind you and sets standards ahead of you. Even if you never speak about it, the shift will be felt. Children notice. Families adjust. Atmospheres respond. This is how quiet obedience reshapes futures. If at any point you feel unworthy again, remember this truth. God does not choose vessels because they are flawless, but because they are willing. Your willingness carried you here. Your humility keeps you here. Archangel Michael stands not as a threat, but as a guardian, ensuring what is entrusted to you is not stolen, diluted, or wasted. Stay grounded in gratitude. Speak thanks even before full understanding arrives. Gratitude keeps the channel open. Complaining clogs it. This is not about suppressing emotion. It is about choosing perspective. You are no longer asking if God sees you. You are living in the evidence that He does. As this message settles into you, allow confidence to replace hesitation. Not loud confidence, but rooted confidence. The kind that does not rush, does not beg, and does not panic. This is the posture of someone who knows they are backed by heaven. What comes next builds on this foundation. The arrival with the signal. The alignment is the process, and the transformation is already underway. Stay present. Stay attentive. Stay receptive. Heaven is still speaking. Beloved one, as this unfolding continues, Archangel Michael is drawing your attention to something subtle yet powerful, the shift in how you will begin to interpret silence. In past seasons, silence made you anxious. You filled the gaps with assumptions, fears, and self-doubt. But after this moment, silence will no longer feel empty. It will feel intentional. It will feel like space being created for something better to take root. This is a sign of inner maturity forming, the kind that does not need constant reassurance to remain steady. The gift that arrives is not meant to make life suddenly perfect. Instead, it recalibrates your expectations. You will stop chasing urgency and start valuing alignment. What once felt like pressure will now feel like peace. Archangel Michael says this is because your spirit is finally catching up to what heaven has already declared over you. You are no longer trying to convince God to act. You are learning how to walk in step with what He has already set in motion. There is an inner dialogue that will change after this point. You will notice yourself speaking differently to yourself. The harsh inner critic will lose volume. The voice that once questioned every step will soften. This is not because life becomes easier, but because confidence replaces insecurity. Confidence does not shout, it rests. And rest is a sign of trust returning. Some of you may experience a strange sense of detachment from old struggles. Things that once triggered emotional reactions may no longer hold the same power. This does not mean you have become cold or indifferent. It means healing has reached a level where wounds are no longer being reopened by memory alone. Archangel Michael is guarding your heart during this phase because vulnerability without wisdom can reopen doors that were meant to stay closed. Pay attention to how you respond to unexpected delays after January 23rd. Heaven is watching your reactions more than your requests. Calm patience is evidence of growth. Irritation reveals unhealed fear. This season is teaching you that delay is not rejection, and waiting does not mean losing ground. Sometimes, waiting is where strength quietly accumulates. There will also be moments where you are tempted to explain yourself less. You will feel less need to justify your choices or defend your boundaries. This is a natural result of inner validation. When God affirms you, external approval loses authority. Archangel Michael reminds you that explaining too much often gives power to opinions that were never meant to shape your life. Another shift will appear in your prayers. They will become simpler, more focused, and more confident. Instead of long explanations, you will speak clearly and expect calmly. This is not because your faith has shrunk, but because it has matured. Childlike faith trusts without demanding constant proof. That kind of faith moves mountains quietly. You may also notice that your intuition sharpens. Decisions that once felt confusing will suddenly feel obvious. This is discernment being restored. Archangel Michael is strengthening your spiritual senses so you are not easily misled by appearances. What glitters will no longer impress you. What carries peace will. Do not be surprised if certain opportunities fade away on their own. You will not have to reject them forcefully. They will simply lose relevance. This is alignment pruning your path. Every almost that falls away makes room for the exactly God intends. Trust what leaves without resistance. This part of the journey is about stabilization. You are no longer being shaken to wake up. You are being grounded to stand firm. Stability is not boring. It is powerful. It allows growth without collapse. Archangel Michael stands watch to ensure that what is built now is not rushed or fragile. If moments of doubt try to resurface, do not panic. Doubt does not mean failure. It means you are stepping into unfamiliar territory. Instead of fighting it, acknowledge it and return to gratitude. Gratitude recenters the heart faster than argument ever could. Remember how far you have come. Remember how clearly heaven has spoken. You are entering a phase where consistency matters more than intensity. Small daily faithfulness will yield greater fruit than occasional emotional highs. This is where real transformation happens, quietly, steadily, without spectacle. And this is where many give up because it lacks drama. But you are not many. You are attentive. You are prepared. Archangel Michael's presence remains strong around you, not as a reminder of danger, but as a symbol of divine order. Things are being put in their proper place. Thoughts, desires, priorities. When order returns, peace follows naturally. As you move forward, keep your heart open but your spirit discerning. Celebrate progress without rushing completion. You are not late. You are right on time. And what is forming within you now will support everything that is still on its way. Stay grounded. Stay grateful. Stay aware. The journey is unfolding exactly as it should. My beloved one, what unfolds now is a test of consistency, not faith. Faith has already been proven in you. Consistency is what heaven is watching next. After the arrival and the internal shifts you have felt, life will seem almost normal again. And this is where many misunderstand divine movement. They think God only works in moments of intensity. But Archangel Michael says the most powerful changes are sealed in ordinary days, when nothing dramatic happens, yet everything is aligning beneath the surface. This is the season where you learn how to walk with what you received, not just celebrate it. The gift did not come to excite you for a day, it came to anchor you for a lifetime. And anchors do their work quietly. You may wake up one morning and realize you are no longer anxious about things that once controlled your mood. You may notice you react slower, speak calmer, and think clearer. This is evidence that authority has settled in your spirit. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that temptation will not always come as something obviously wrong. Sometimes it comes disguised as distraction, busyness without purpose, conversations without depth, noise that slowly pulls you away from focus. You do not need to isolate yourself from the world, but you must protect what God has stabilized. Not everything deserves your attention anymore. Attention is spiritual currency. There will be moments where you feel prompted to return to habits that ground you. Prayer that feels simple. Silence that feels safe. Words that feel honest. Do not ignore those nudges. They are maintenance, not correction. Just as a warrior sharpens a sword even when there is no battle, you are being trained to maintain readiness without anxiety. At this stage, comparison becomes especially dangerous. You may see others moving faster, louder, or more visibly. Do not measure your progress against theirs. Speed is not the same as alignment. Archangel Michael reminds you that many who rush ahead end up circling back. You are being led forward steadily, without needing to prove anything. Now, let me speak plainly for a moment. If this message has been strengthening you, grounding you, and sharpening your awareness, do not disengage passively. Participate. Like this video as an act of agreement with what God is doing in you. Share it with someone who is tired of surface-level encouragement and needs truth that settles the soul. Comment something that reflects your commitment to stay aligned. And if you have not yet subscribed, this is a moment to connect yourself to messages that protect your focus instead of scattering it. These actions may seem small, but small actions done with intention carry weight in the spirit. There is also something else unfolding quietly. Your influence is increasing, even if you do not feel it yet. People may begin to open up to you more. They may ask for advice or simply feel at ease around you. This is not accidental. Peace attracts honesty, and honesty invites responsibility. Do not feel pressured to have all the answers. Sometimes your presence is the answer. Archangel Michael cautions you not to rush into fixing others. What you carry now is meant to be shared through example, not force. Let people notice the difference. Let them ask. Wisdom offered before it is requested often goes unreceived. Timing matters in giving, just as it did in receiving. You may also experience moments where you revisit old memories with a new perspective. Things that once hurt deeply may no longer sting the same way. This does not mean they were insignificant. It means healing has reached completion. Closure does not always come with apology. Sometimes it comes with peace. If confusion tries to creep back in, return to simplicity. Ask fewer questions. Take the next clear step. Heaven rarely reveals the entire staircase at once. Light is given step by step so trust can grow. Archangel Michael assures you that you will not miss what is meant for you as long as you stay present. There is strength being built in you that does not rely on emotion. Emotional may fluctuate. Rooted faith endures. This rootedness will serve you well in the days ahead, especially when others around you feel uncertain. You will not need to convince them of anything. Your steadiness will speak for itself. Before moving further, let this settle in you. What is happening now is not a pause. It is a foundation. Foundations are hidden, but they determine how high something can rise without collapsing. You are being built correctly, not quickly. Stay with this message. What comes next reveals how this stability opens doors you did not even know existed. Hold on. The connection you are about to see will bring clarity to why everything unfolded the way it did. Beloved one, now the unfolding reaches a point of recognition. This is where you begin to notice that doors are not just opening, but opening differently than before. Not forced, not frantic, not with resistance. They open with ease, and that ease may feel unfamiliar at first. You may even question it, wondering why things are not harder. But Archangel Michael says ease is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of alignment. When you are positioned correctly, effort produces results instead of exhaustion. This is the season where discernment becomes more important than desire. Just because something is possible does not mean it is permitted. You will have options now. Choices. Invitations. Some of them will look good, even noble. But only a few will feel peaceful. Peace is your compass. Urgency is no longer your guide. If something pressures you to rush, explain, or compromise your grounding, it is not from God, no matter how attractive it appears. You may notice that your tolerance for confusion has decreased. Situations that once kept you stuck will now feel uncomfortable very quickly. This is not impatience, it is clarity. Confusion is often a signal that something is misaligned. Archangel Michael sharpens your awareness so you do not linger where clarity is absent. You are learning to move when peace lifts, and to pause when it withdraws. There will be moments where you look back and realize how much has changed internally, even if your external life still looks familiar. Do not underestimate internal shifts. They are the roots that support visible fruit. Many people chase upward change without tending the inner foundation. You are doing the opposite, and that is why what comes next will last. You may also experience a new relationship with rest. Rest will no longer feel like laziness or avoidance. It will feel deserved, necessary, strategic. Archangel Michael says rest is not retreat. It is refueling. When you rest without guilt, you declare trust. You say, I believe God works even when I pause. A declaration strengthens your spirit more than constant striving ever could. At this stage, be mindful of what you speak over yourself. Words carry alignment. Negative self-talk that once felt harmless will now feel heavy. This is because your spirit no longer agrees with it. Correct yourself gently. Speak truth without force. You do not need affirmations shouted into the void. You need quiet agreement with what God has already established. There is also a refining happening in how you relate to people. You may feel less drawn to drama, less interested in proving points, less willing to engage in emotional tug-of-war. This is not detachment. It is maturity. Archangel Michael reminds you that peace is preserved by knowing when not to respond. Silence, when chosen wisely, becomes strength. Some connections will deepen during this time. Others will remain surface level. Allow both without judgment. Not everyone is meant to walk with you at the same depth. Honor each role without forcing intimacy where it does not belong. Forcing closeness creates strain. Allowing space creates respect. You may also notice that your prayers become more conversational and less transactional. You are no longer approaching God only when something is wrong. You are including Him in ordinary moments. This is intimacy forming. Intimacy does not demand constant miracles. It appreciates constant presence. And presence changes everything. Archangel Michael wants you to stay alert but not tense. Watchful but not fearful. Expectant but not demanding. This balance is rare, and that is why it is powerful. Extremes exhaust the soul. Balance sustains it. There may be days where nothing seems to happen. Do not interpret stillness as stagnation. Seeds grow in silence. Roots deepen underground. Just because you do not see movement does not mean progress has stopped. Trust what has already been confirmed. Reread the signs. Remember the alignment. Let memory anchor you when feelings fluctuate. As you continue forward, you will find that your confidence no longer depends on outcomes. You will do your part faithfully and release the rest. This release is freedom. It allows you to show up fully without clinging to results. Archangel Michael says this posture disarms fear because fear feeds on control. Be cautious not to romanticize the past. Nostalgia can distort memory. The past may feel familiar, but it no longer fits who you are becoming. Honor it, learn from it, but do not return to it. You did not survive and grow just to repeat old cycles. This is also a season where gratitude must be practiced intentionally. Not performative gratitude, but private gratitude. Quiet moments of acknowledgement. Whispered thanks. Internal recognition. Gratitude keeps your heart aligned with abundance instead of lack. And where gratitude lives, peace multiplies. What is forming now is not fragile. It had been tested, refined, and protected. You are no longer being prepared for something distant. You are living inside the preparation, becoming reality. This is the transition many never recognize because it feels subtle. But subtle does not mean small. It means stable. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. Stay open. The unfolding is not slowing down. It is settling into strength. And from this strength, the next revelation will emerge naturally, without force, without fear, and without confusion. My beloved child, what unfolds now is the unveiling of purpose behind everything you have sensed but could not yet name. This is the moment where alignment becomes assignment. Archangel Michael is not only guarding what you have received, he is now directing how it is to be used. Until now, heaven was stabilizing you. From this point forward, heaven begins to move through you. You may feel a growing awareness that your life is not just about personal peace anymore. Not in a burdensome way, but in a meaningful one. There is a gentle weight on your spirit. Not pressure, but responsibility. This is how calling feels when it awakens. It does not shout. It nudges. It does not demand perfection. It asks for availability. Archangel Michael says you are entering a phase where your obedience carries ripple effects you may never fully see. Do not be intimidated by this. You are not being asked to do more, you are being asked to be more present. Present in conversations. Present in decisions. Present in listening. Small moments will begin to carry unusual significance. A word you speak casually may land deeply in someone else's life. A choice you make quietly may redirect an entire outcome. This is influence rooted in alignment, not ambition. You may also notice a heightened sensitivity to truth. Things that are misaligned will feel heavier now. Compromises that once seemed harmless may suddenly feel uncomfortable. This is not restriction. It is integrity strengthening. Archangel Michael reminds you that integrity is protection. When your inner and outer life agree, nothing has leverage against you. There is a refinement happening in your desires. Some old goals may lose their shine, not because they were sinful, but because they were small compared to what you now carry. You are not shrinking your dreams, you are upgrading them. Heaven expands vision only after character is anchored. That anchoring has been happening quietly all along. You may be tempted to ask, what exactly am I supposed to do now? The answer is simpler than you think. Do the next right thing with intention. Speak truth when prompted. Rest when needed. Act when peace confirms. Assignment unfolds step by step, not all at once. Clarity follows obedience, not the other way around. Archangel Michael is also cautioning you against comparison at this stage. When calling awakens, comparison tries to confuse. You are not meant to replicate someone else's path. Your assignment is custom. Your timing is specific. Your impact is precise. Stay in your lane. Grace flows strongest where authenticity lives. There may be moments where you feel unseen again, even after all this confirmation. Do not misinterpret that. Visibility is not validation. Some of the most important work is done quietly, away from applause. Heaven sees what people overlook, and heaven rewards faithfulness, not performance. Pay attention to what brings you a deep, quiet joy. Not excitement, but fulfillment. That is a clue. Fulfillment often bound to earn purpose. It may not always be easy, but it will feel right. Archangel Michael says purpose carries peace even when it carries challenge. As this awareness grows, guard your heart carefully. Pride will try to enter disguised as confidence. Fear will try to enter disguised as humility. True alignment sits between the two. Stay teachable. Stay grounded. Stay grateful. Gratitude keeps purpose pure. You are not late stepping into this. Everything unfolded in the correct order. Had this responsibility come earlier, it might have crushed you. Now, it will shape you instead. That is the difference maturity makes. Let this truth settle deeply. You are trusted. Heaven does not entrust influence lightly. What you carry now is not fragile, and neither are you. Even when you feel unsure, the grace to walk this out is already active. Type "I walk in purpose" in the comments if your spirit is receiving this. Blessing code 3196 has just been released over your assignment and direction. And flowing naturally from this moment, hear this with clarity and authority. What you are stepping into is bigger than one life, one screen, or one moment. Light multiplies when it is shared. The Lord says, as you sow into my work, I will cause rivers to flow where there was dryness. This is your moment to act, not hesitate. When you release support through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, with a link waiting in the description, you are helping this word reach souls who are still waiting for direction. I am inviting you personally to move now, as an act of obedience, not generosity. I speak blessing over every seed released. May it return with increase, clarity, and divine favor. Do it now, and let heaven mark your response. Beloved one, as you continue forward, there is a deep settling taking place within you. This is the stage where purpose stops feeling like an idea and starts feeling like a posture. You are no longer asking, "What am I supposed to do with my life?" Instead, you are learning how to live awake, attentive, and responsive. Archangel Michael says this is where many miss the beauty of the journey because it does not announce itself loudly. It feels steady, grounded, real. You may notice that your reactions to life are changing before situations change. Where panic once rushed in, calm now pauses first. Where you once overthought, you now wait. This is not hesitation, it is wisdom. Wisdom knows when to move and when to be still. The fact that you are no longer reacting impulsively is proof that authority has taken root inside you. There is also a quiet strengthening of trust happening. Trust in God, yes, but also trust in yourself. You are beginning to believe that you can hear correctly, choose wisely, and respond appropriately. This is significant. Many people believe in God but do not believe God can speak clearly to them. That barrier is dissolving for you. Discernment is becoming natural rather than forced. Archangel Michael is drawing your attention to how you handle uncertainty now. Uncertainty no longer terrifies you. It invites you to lean in. You are learning that not knowing everything does not mean you are unprepared. It means you are guided. Guidance requires trust. Control requires fear. You are releasing control not because you are careless, but because you are confident in who leads you. You may experience moments where old thought patterns attempt to return. Thoughts like, "What if this doesn't last?" Or "What if I mess this up?" You not wrestle with these thoughts aggressively. Simply acknowledge them and return to truth. Growth does not mean never doubting. It means not letting doubt decide. Archangel Michael reminds you that perfection was never required. Faithfulness was. Another shift you may notice is how you perceive time. You are less rushed, less frantic. You understand that what is meant for you will not require panic to obtain. This does not make you passive, it makes you patient. Patience is active trust. It is choosing alignment over acceleration. There may be moments where others question your calm. They may interpret it as lack of ambition or urgency. Let them. You no longer need to defend your pace. What you are building is not fragile, and it cannot be rushed without damage. Archangel Michael stands watch to ensure that nothing pulls you prematurely into what you are not meant to carry yet. This is also a season where gratitude deepens beyond words. You may find yourself thankful for lessons that once felt painful, thankful for delays that once frustrated you. This does not mean you enjoyed the struggle. It means you recognize its role. Gratitude at this level is maturity. It acknowledges purpose without glorifying pain. Pay attention to moments of inner prompting. Small instructions, gentle nudges. They may not always make logical sense immediately. Obedience in these moments sharpens discernment further. The more you respond, the clearer guidance becomes. Archangel Michael says responsiveness increases clarity. You are also learning the difference between being productive and being purposeful. Productivity fills time. Purpose fills meaning. You may do less than before but feel more fulfilled. That is alignment. When purpose leads, exhaustion loses its grip. There is something else happening quietly. Your identity is stabilizing. You are no longer defining yourself by what you do, what you have, or what others say. You are rooted in who you are becoming. This stability cannot be shaken easily. When storms come, you will bend, not break. You may also find yourself drawn to truth more than affirmation. You would rather hear something honest than something flattering. This is discernment maturing. Flattery feeds ego. Truth feeds growth. Archangel Michael says growth is your priority now. If moments of loneliness surface, do not assume something is wrong. Transition seasons often feel solitary because old connections no longer resonate and new ones have not fully formed yet. This space is not punishment. It is recalibration. Allow it without fear. You are not alone. You are becoming. Remember, the unfolding of purpose is not a straight line. It moves in layers. Some days will feel clear. Others will feel quiet. Both are necessary. Trust the rhythm. You do not need to force momentum. Momentum builds naturally where alignment is maintained. As you continue listening, resting, and responding, know this: nothing that is meant for you is drifting away. What is yours is being prepared to meet you at the right moment. Stay present. Stay humble. Stay receptive. You are not waiting for life to begin. You are living inside the becoming. And that is where the deepest transformation happens. My beloved one, as we move forward, understand this clearly. What you are experiencing now is integration. Everything that was revealed, healed, corrected, and awakened is beginning to settle into daily life. This is not the dramatic part people talk about, but it is the most important one. Archangel Michael says many receive revelation, but few allow it to reshape how they live consistently. You are doing the deeper work, allowing truth to become habit, not just inspiration. You may notice that your choices are becoming quieter but stronger. You are no longer announcing decisions. You are simply making them. There is less need to explain, less need to justify. This is confidence rooted in alignment, not ego. When you know why you move, you do not need permission from noise. There is also a strengthening of spiritual endurance happening now. Endurance is different from excitement. Excitement fades when results delay. Endurance remains steady even when progress feels slow. Archangel Michael says endurance is what carries people through seasons where faith must be lived, not felt. You are learning how to stay anchored even when emotions fluctuate. You may be tempted to look for another sign, another confirmation, another message to reassure you. Pause there. This season is about walking with what you already know. Too many signs can become a distraction. You have been given enough clarity to move forward. Trust that. Over-reliance on external confirmation can weaken internal discernment. Heaven has already spoken clearly to you. Pay attention to how you handle small responsibilities now. Faithfulness in small things is not preparation for something bigger. It is evidence that you are already trusted. How you manage time, conversations, commitments, and rest matters. These details shape capacity. Archangel Michael watches the unseen moments more than the public ones. And now let me speak to you directly as someone walking this path with intention. If this message has been grounding you, strengthening you, and helping you stay focused in a noisy world, do not treat this moment passively. Engage with it. Like this video as a signal that you are choosing alignment over distraction. Share it with someone who feels lost in transition and needs steady truth. Comment something that reflects your commitment to walk this out faithfully. And if you have not yet subscribed, now is the time to connect yourself to messages that sharpen your spirit rather than scatter it. What you are building now does not require applause, but it does require consistency. Some days will feel ordinary. Do not underestimate ordinary days. Ordinary days are where character is formed. Anyone can be faithful during intensity. Faithfulness during routine is what separates maturity from immaturity. You may notice that you are becoming more selective with your energy. You are learning when to say no without guilt. This is not selfishness. It is stewardship. You cannot pour into everything and everyone. Discernment teaches you where your presence is most effective. Archangel Michael reminds you that boundaries protect purpose, There may be moments where you feel misunderstood. When growth happens internally, it often takes time for others to catch up. Do not shrink to make others comfortable. At the same time, do not harden your heart. Walk gently, firmly, and honestly. Truth does not need to be aggressive to be strong. Another shift happening now is how you process disappointment. Disappointment no longer devastates you. It informs you. You learn. You adjust. You move forward without bitterness. This is emotional maturity forming. Bitterness keeps people sub. Learning moves them forward. If you find yourself revisiting old prayers, you may realize some of them have already been answered, just not in the way you expected. Thank God for answered prayers you once misunderstood. Gratitude for past answers strengthens faith for future ones. Archangel Michael also wants you to remain alert to pride disguised as independence. Needing no one is not strength, it is isolation. You are allowed to receive help, wisdom, and encouragement. Strength knows when to lean without collapsing. Balance is key. As you move through this phase, do not rush the process. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be to handle what is coming next. Rushing would only weaken the foundation you have worked so hard to build. Hold on to this message. What unfolds next connects endurance to expansion in a way you may not expect. Stay with this. You will be grateful you did. Beloved one, you are now entering a phase that few recognize while they are inside it. This is the phase of quiet authority. Nothing dramatic announces it. There is no sudden spotlight, no loud validation. Yet something within you has settled into place. Archangel Michael says this is where inner alignment begins to influence external outcomes without force. You are no longer trying to make things happen. Things respond to you differently now because of who you have become. You may notice that conversations shift when you enter a room. Not because you dominate, but because your presence carries weight. People may pause, listen more carefully, or open up unexpectedly. This is not charisma learned from the world. It is authority born from integrity. Integrity creates safety. And where people feel safe, truth surfaces. At this stage, you are being trusted with discernment that affects more than just you. You may sense when to speak and when to remain silent with unusual clarity. Silence will no longer feel awkward. It will feel intentional. You are learning that not every truth needs to be spoken immediately, and not every battle needs to be fought. Wisdom chooses timing as carefully as content. Archangel Michael is also revealing how deeply rooted you have become. Situations that would have shaken you before now feel manageable. You still feel emotion, but it no longer controls direction. This is emotional mastery forming. Not suppression, but regulation. You can acknowledge feelings without obeying them. This is strength. You may find that your standards continue to rise naturally. You are less willing to settle for half-truths, vague commitments, or unstable patterns. This is not judgment toward others. It is clarity about yourself. When clarity increases, tolerance for misalignment decreases. You are not becoming rigid. You are becoming precise. There is also a refinement in how you define success. Success is no longer measured only by visible outcomes, but by inner alignment. Peace matters more than applause. Consistency matters more than speed. You are learning that success that costs your soul is failure in disguise. Archangel Michael guards you from that deception. You may encounter moments where progress feels slower than expected. Do not misinterpret that. It takes time. Anything built to last requires patience during construction. Heaven is more concerned with permanence than speed. What is being established in you now will support responsibilities you cannot yet see. Be mindful during this phase not to isolate yourself emotionally. Independence can quietly turn into distance if left unchecked. You do not need to explain everything you are becoming, but remain connected. Healthy connection grounds authority. Lone strength often becomes brittle. Balance keeps you whole. You are also learning how to receive correction without shame. Feedback no longer threatens your identity. You can separate who you are from what needs adjustment. This is maturity. A maturity defends. Maturity discerns. Archangel Michael says this ability will protect you from stagnation. Another subtle change may appear in how you relate to conflict. Conflict no longer excites or frightens you. You approach it calmly, seeking resolution rather than victory. This does not mean you avoid confrontation. It means you choose it wisely. Authority does not need to win arguments to remain intact. There may be moments when you feel unseen again. Do not let that discourage you. Visibility comes in seasons. Influence does not always announce itself immediately. Some of the most impactful work happens before recognition ever arrives. Trust the process. Heaven sees you even when people do not. You may also feel a deeper sense of responsibility toward your choices. Not fear-based responsibility, but awareness. You understand now that your decisions carry ripple effects. This awareness does not burden you. It anchors you. It keeps you thoughtful, prayerful, and intentional. Archangel Michael wants you to remain attentive to humility during this stage. Humility does not mean shrinking. It means staying teachable. Pride closes doors quietly. Teachability keeps them open. Continue to listen. Continue to learn. Continue to grow. This phase is about consolidation. Everything you have learned is being woven together into a stable foundation. Faith, discernment, patience, confidence, humility, they are no longer separate lessons. They are becoming one posture. If you ever wonder whether this journey has been worth it, look at who you are now compared to who you were. The change may not be flashy, but it is undeniable. You are steadier, clearer, stronger, more at peace. Hold this posture gently. Do not rush to the next thing. There is still one final unveiling ahead, one that brings closure, blessing, and commissioning together. Remain open. Remain grounded. Remain faithful. What comes next completes the cycle and releases what was designed to bless not only you, but those connected to you as well. My beloved child, this is the moment of sealing. Everything you have heard, sensed, endured, and grown into now converges here. Archangel Michael stands not as a warrior in battle, but as a witness to completion. What began as a warning has become a confirmation. What started as preparation has become positioning. You are no longer standing on the edge of something coming. You are standing inside what has arrived. This final unfolding is not about excitement. It is about assurance. A deep knowing settles into your spirit that God has been faithful, precise, and intentional with your life. You may not see every detail yet, but you no longer doubt the author. Doubt has lost its authority. Fear has lost its voice. Trust has taken its rightful place. There is a quiet confidence now that does not need proof. You are no longer asking if God is with you. You are moving because you know He is. That knowing changes everything. Decisions feel clearer. Resistance feels weaker. Peace feels stronger. This is what it means to be established. Archangel Michael wants you to recognize something important before you move forward. What you received was not just for a season. It was for stewardship. Stewardship requires awareness. humility, and obedience over time. And you have been shaped for that. The trials you survived were not meant to break you. They trained you to carry weight without collapsing. You may look back now and realize that certain prayers were answered in ways you could not recognize at the time. Certain closed doors were protection. Certain delays were mercy. Certain endings were rescue. This perspective is not bitterness-free nostalgia. It is wisdom earned through trust. As you step fully into what hath been prepared, you will notice that your life becomes quieter in some ways and more impactful in others. Less chaos, more clarity, less striving, more fruit. This is not coincidence. It is the reward of alignment. There will still be challenges ahead. This is not the end of effort. It is the end of confusion. You will face things knowing who you are, not trying to discover it. That difference is everything. Identity anchored in God is unshakable. Archangel Michael declares that what was designed to bless you forever has now found its rightful place in your life. It will grow with you. It will mature with you. It will not abandon you. You are no longer chasing destiny. Destiny is walking with you. Carry this with reverence, not fear. Walk with gratitude, not pressure. Lead with humility, not insecurity. You are equipped. You are covered. You are trusted. Type "I am sealed and sent" in the comments if you receive this final confirmation. Blessing code 5419 is now activated over your life, your obedience, and your future. What you have received was never meant to stop with you. Light multiplies when it is released. The Lord speaks clearly in this moment. As you sow into what carries my word, I will cause your harvest to overtake you. This is not a suggestion. It is an instruction. If this message fed your spirit, strengthened your faith, and aligned your heart, respond now. Release your support through super thanks. Step into membership or give through PayPal. The link is waiting in the description. This is not about helping a channel. This is about helping heaven reach those still waiting for their knock. I bless every giver with increase, protection, and divine acceleration. Act now. Obedience in this moment will echo far beyond today.